Hello YouTube, Psychopath22 here, coming at you with one of my best matches ever of Domination. In this video, I'll be going over my class makeup that finally allowed me to get this unstoppable medal later in the match, and my views on perks and other things in this game. The video gets a bit slow towards the end, but that's because I really wanted to go for this medal and I didn't want to die. Alright, so I'll start off by talking about my gun. In this video, as you can see, I'm using the BAL-27. This has a foregrip attachment, suppressor attachment, and the red dot sight. Now a lot of people hate on the BAL and say it's overpowered, which it definitely is, and that's why I use it. Get over it. It also has a good damage output with that amazing fire rate. The fire rate on the gun causes it to have a lot of recoil, which is why the foregrip on this gun is almost necessary. The suppressor makes it so I can stay hidden on the map, which is good for, you know, being stealthy and that kind of shit. And the red dot sight is helpful because it helps me stay on target. I found that with the iron sights, they tend to bounce a little too much, and it's a little harder to keep on the enemy than the red dot sight. Alright, on this class, I don't use any secondaries because, to be honest, I really don't use them at all, even if I have them equipped. Pistols are kind of pointless, they suck, just use your primary gun instead. Rocket launchers, they can be kind of useful for game modes like Domination, if you want to fucking piss somebody off trying to capture a flag, or Hardpoint, they can also be kind of good for clearing out that area. But other than that, secondaries really aren't too great to have in this game, so I just don't use one. I'd rather have the open slot of my class to put towards a third attachment, or have a perk greed so I can have two perks in one slot. I also don't use any exo ability at all because same thing, even if I have them equipped, I've never really found myself using them, so I'd rather just have the open slot to add some more customization to other parts that are actually more useful to my gameplay style. Although some exo abilities can be good for certain game modes, like I found the one that mutes your footsteps, and the overcloak can be kind of nice to have for like search and destroy, other things like that. Sometimes the shield one works kind of nice for hardpoint if you're sitting in the hardpoint. So you just kind of got to play around with it, but for Domination, as I'm playing here, don't really find any of them to be too useful, so I just don't use them. Grenades, also don't use any grenades on this class. Strictly just the primary gun with this one because I found that grenades are kind of, I feel like they don't do as much damage as they've done in other Call of Duties. Like, you can throw a grenade right at somebody's foot and they're gonna fucking live through it, is what I feel like. Same with flashbangs or EMP grenades. They just don't seem like they have as much like flashbang effect on the enemy as they used to in other games. So I just said fuck it, I'm not going to use them. But not having these four things allows me to have that third attachment on my gun and a second perk in one of my slots. Alright, so now I'll talk about the perks that I use on this class. In my perk 1 slot, I use low profile. This helps me stay stealthy, hidden from the UAVs, you know, makes it so the enemies have a little harder time of trying to find where I'm hiding, which can definitely help in a lot of situations. To me, this is one of the best perks in the game, although some people like lightweight, which is a good perk if you're running around with, let's say, a submachine gun, because then you're just getting in and out. It doesn't really matter if you get seen by a UAV because you're moving around a lot anyway. So that one's not too bad to have if you have like an SMG class, but for me, I like to use assault rifles, kind of stay back more in one spot kinda. So I found lightweight's not really too great of a choice for me. Flak jacket I found to be pretty useless. Don't really use it much, unless maybe I'm playing hardpoint and I feel like going to sit in the hardpoint, because people are always throwing grenades and launching rockets in there, and flak jacket's definitely nice to have for that game mode. Overcharge would be the next perk. in that slot. I think this is an incredibly useless perk. Really no point to waste your slot on it at all. Mostly because I don't use exo abilities. Even if you do, that extra battery life just seems to go by incredibly quickly anyway. And the boost slam thing, I mean, how often do you really boost slam an enemy that the concussion effect's really going to help you? So I just find this perk incredibly stupid. Danger Close is the final perk you unlock in the perk 1 slot, and it seems like it's kind of useful, and I guess it would be for game modes like Hardpoint or something like that where you're kind of launching grenades or using explosives, but for Domination and the fact that I don't use grenades, I don't really find this perk too useful. The score streak damage thing, the boost that it does to that is definitely kind of nice to have, but again, I also don't find that to actually be as useful as it should be. For perk 2 slot, I use Blind Eye. Blind Eye is extremely useful. It keeps you hidden from all those pesky score streaks except the UAV. So this means you can't be targeted by like warbirds or anything like that. They won't be able to find you. Turrets, unless somebody is controlling it, they just won't be able to find you, so it's extremely good to have. Peripherals is another great perk for perk 2 slot, although it does get beat out by Blind Eye because Blind Eye is way more helpful than that. But Peripherals does let you see more of the map, which can be kind of helpful in certain situations. I found that's a great perk for Search and Destroy. Cold-Blooded, kind of pointless. I feel like Blind Eye is a bit better than being able to be hidden from various sites and callouts. I'd rather stay hidden from score streaks and those kind of things. Gung Ho. Gung Ho is a perk that's really good for a run and gun SMG style of play because you can fire while you're sprinting, so you can get in and out even more quickly than you normally would be able to. So that's a good perk for an SMG class. Fast Hands, I really don't find Fast Hands a useful perk at all. I thought maybe this would let me look down the sights faster or something like that, but no, it just lets you switch weapons and do the grenade things faster. Which I guess unless you're sniping, maybe it'd be nice to quickly switch to a secondary, but other than that, this perk is kind of useless to me as well. In the perk 3 slot, I actually use 2 perks. This is where my perk greed comes in. I use Scavenger and Blast Suppressor. Scavenger I use for obvious reasons. It's always nice to have that ammo. You never know if you're going to run out. You never know how long you're going to live. Sometimes, yeah, it's like, wow, why do I even have this? Because I just die a lot. But obviously in matches like this, it was very nice to have Scavenger. Blast Suppressor is also nice to have. It's just another one of those perks that keeps you off the mini-map. They won't be able to find you. They can still hear you because it does give off some sound, but it's a lot harder for them to actually find you. So there's that. And then Hardwired is another perk. This perk is very nice because it does let you stay immune to those damn system hacks, because those get very annoying, especially if there's a clan and like all of them are running system hack. They just get very annoying, but I usually just suffer through because I can use this slot for something a bit more useful, like Scavenger or Blast Suppressor. Toughness. This perk seemed pretty helpful while I was using it, but then I'm like, I really need to try something else because something's not working right here. So I tried using a different perk, and I found that I really don't need to go back to toughness. It's just kind of a, just aim down a little lower when you're shooting. You end up kind of working it out. You get used to it. It's not as helpful as I thought it would be. Hardline. Hardline's the last perk 3. It seems useful, but to me, it's only very useful for Search and Destroy when you want to get that UAV one click sooner. Otherwise, to me, it's kind of pointless. You just gotta be good enough to get that one more kill that you need. And finally here, I'll talk about the score streaks I've been using on this class. And the score streaks I've been using are the UAV, and I believe this is the moment you've all been waiting for, which is the Unstoppable medal right there. There you have it. That is the first Unstoppable medal I have ever gotten in this game, and I am very proud that I have finally been able to get it. Alright, so now I'll talk about my score streaks very quickly as I am running out of time here. I use the UAV with support. This makes sure I can always get that in this game. Paint, so that you can see enemies a lot easier, and extra time to make it last longer. I use the bombing run with stealth to make sure that they can't see where it's coming, and the XS1 Vulcan with overcharged extra time and extra burst to make sure I can get as many kills as possible. So there you have it, 34-2 with 2 Unstoppable medals. At the end here, I've added a few screenshots of my player in full Bloodshot armor, which can only be acquired through an Unstoppable medal. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Please throw up a like, leave a comment, and subscribe to my channel for more videos. Later.